Talk about a piece that you're across in the Mirror as well. Klopp, I love the way De Zerbi teams play. Cop boss, full of praise for boss who could replace him. He's got a wonderful record against Klopp, hasn't he? 1-2, drawn 2 since going to Brighton. Do you think that could swing Liverpool? Where do we stand on De Zerbi to Liverpool?
I think it's an interesting one. I do think the paper's a little bit split, aren't they, between De Zerbi looking at sort of Saturday morning's headlines and Ruben Amorim from Sporting. So, look, I actually think that De Zerbi has had a brilliant spell at Brighton, and it's interesting, it's fascinating to hear. And if you read Klopp's comments, he was saying just how much he enjoys kind of the Brighton style, the way that the players hold the ball, they release it, they're very attacking, they're very tactical, and they're full of praise. It's a common theme. The one that would slightly raise alarm bells is that he does seem very combustible, very excitable. He's just had the season of his life. Brighton are enjoying their best ever time. And yet after the European exit, he's calling out the owner, Tony Bloom, who I think if you speak to most Brighton fans will say the guy's a miracle worker and one of the most formative guys in the history of the club. And I don't know, it just seemed to me that those sort of things would worry me a little bit. Yes, you want passion, and you want sort of kind of tactics, but I do think that Amorim, easy for me to say, basically he's just I mean, he's the most sought after guy, I think, right now in Europe. There's a fascinating piece in the Times by Paul Joyce on him, and why perhaps he might be a leading candidate right now, and why they might be moving on from him. His tactical style, his setup. I mean, he certainly has a bit of Mourinho about him, because he is also excitable on the touchline. But I just think that he maybe just. I think because when you put De Zerbi's season into context, the season that he's having with Brighton, that would just worry me a little bit. Whereas this guy can do absolutely no wrong. He's on course for another Portuguese title. You know, he ended a long wait for Sporting to win the title, 19 years, I think it was. And now, you know, he's doing fantastic things. I love the way they play. It's incredibly exciting. It's very, you know, sort of, again, very tactical, very fascinating. And I do think that maybe, just maybe, he might be the preferred choice. But De Zerbi certainly won't have any sort of kind of want of interest in winning parties either.
I'm going to go with saying Ruben Amorim, but we'll get our pronunciation down for him, won't we, in future months over the course of the summer, I'm sure. Mark, quick touch on that. We saw the piece in the Times there by Paul Joyce. Also, Chris Bascom and Jason Burt, the Telegraph, Liverpool could land Amorim for what they say 12.8 million euros. What's your take on the likelihood of him going there? Is it more of a gamble than De Zerbi or not without that Premier League experience?
They've both got positives and negatives. I mean, I'm hearing that De Zerbi's got a lot of support at Anfield, but obviously Amorim as well. And I think, you know, Amorim's got the Champions League experience. He's on course to win another title. He's managing a very big club in Sporting Lisbon. So that puts him ahead of De Zerbi, I guess, in terms of the scale of club he's managed. But De Zerbi's got Premier League experience as well. So it's a tough balancing act. But I do think that ultimately both of these two coaches are better suited to Liverpool right now than Xabi Alonso was. So it might be a good thing that Alonso's decided to stay. And Liverpool might not think so today, but I think the long term it is the best thing for them.